What's up, guys? Welcome to Fantasy Smack Talk. Namco and Dustin here, and before we get into all your Week 7 advice, we got to give a quick shout out to our weekly pick'em winner, and that is...
William from New Jersey.
Jared beating up the beat.
Congratulations. This guy who I don't know will be in touch with you to get some info, and your shirt will be in the mail.
Love some Jersey Shore. Pauly D, Vinny, got money. All right, I know Dustin wasn't here about that. Any team that's 2-4 right now, you got to be looking to change up your team. You got to make a push to try to get in the playoffs. So Dustin, break down the difference between a panic trade and a shake-up trade.
Well, you got to be really strategic about this right now, because I know you're panicking with your record. You need to shake things up. But you got to be smart about what kind of trade you do. And a panic trade, in our opinion, is when you trade your underperforming guys. Guys like Shawn Green, Michael Turner, DeAngelo Williams. These guys have more value on your team than you'll ever be able to get for them in a trade because they can turn it around. You need to trade guys, your studs, that are putting up numbers that have big names. Guys like Frank Gore. And we're 6 weeks into the season. You got to start putting stock into this year's numbers. So you need to make sure you're trying to trade a guy that has some numbers this year. So trade a guy like Frank Gore, take a slight downgrade, maybe get an Ahmad Bradshaw and like a Macklin thrown in there so you get some extra receiver depth. It's that kind of trade that's going to help your starting lineup, get your team some depth, and it's something that you can definitely get done right now and shake things up.
Just want to say apologies to New Jersey. I'm sure you're beyond sick of that. Please still watch us.
They'll get over it. Don't worry about that. All right, let's get into our forum questions. First one comes from Finally Detroit Wins. They want to know, they want to pick up Mike Williams, Seattle, but who should they drop? Kenny Britt, Dez Bryant, Eddie Royal, Santonio Holmes, or none of these guys? We have this on the homepage of our site right now. 33% say Kenny Britt, 33% say Dez Bryant.
I understand why you like Mike Williams. He got 15 targets last week. But out of all the guys you got, I'm saying stick with who you're rolling with. I just say Mike Williams has been kind of up and down this year as it seems. Deion Branch is gone, so he does have more value. But I like everyone's already on your roster. Just stay the course right now.
I would drop Dez Bryant. I mean, he's a rookie.
I don't mind Dez Bryant.
He's maybe the fourth option on that team at this point. I mean, he's going to be, even when he has his good games, they're going to be few and far between. I think Mike Williams has a chance of being more consistent.
All right, Dustin. J-Rue wants to know, J-Rue10 wants to know, should he start Thomas Jones against Jacksonville or Kenny Britt, your boy, versus the Philadelphia Eagles?
Kenny Britt did extend his touchdown streak to 4 straight games for me last week, so I did like that. But here's the deal. I mean, I don't necessarily like his matchup. Thomas Jones going up against Jacksonville. There's a good chance the Chiefs get up early, try to control the game on the ground. Look for Thomas Jones to get about 15 touches this week and maybe another touchdown. I think he's the safer play. Smack Talk community, 100% Thomas Jones.
So you can blame a lot of people if it's wrong.
All right, now we got one that's not nearly as easy. Colts fan for life wants to know, Santana Moss at Chicago or Brandon Lloyd versus Oakland. Smack Talk community, 56% on Santana Moss right now.
Yeah, you know what? This one is really tough, but I'm going to agree with the community and go with Santana Moss. He's had a great season. It's been pretty under the radar thus far. I expect this game to be a shootout between the Skins and the Bears, so I think Donovan's going to be passing around. And an interesting note, this is going to be the first time that Jay Cutler faces Mike Shanahan. Expect a high-scoring affair.
All right, favorite part of the show, studs, duds, and sleepers. Let's start with my picks. Seattle's defense for my stud. They're at home. It's a very hard place to play in Seattle. Arizona got the youngster starting for him. Look for a lot of sacks and a decent amount of turnovers. My dud, Roy Williams against the Giants. Roy Williams has looked great lately, but Giants, tough pass D. I think Roy Williams, very sketchy start this week. And my sleeper, before you go throwing him in your lineup, this is only for people with extreme bye week issues. Devin Aroma-Shadoux. I like him this week. He's slowly getting more involved. Like Brent was saying earlier, the Redskins game could be a shootout. He could have a sneaky good game.
And he had 5 targets last week, so keep that in mind. But again, deep leagues.
He's the best receiver on that team.
All right, my stud is going to be Steven Jackson. 100 yards and a touchdown in each of his last 2 games. He plays Tampa Bay. Their defense, not the year 2000 anymore. Their defense is pretty awful against the run. My dud is going to be Deion Branch. He's facing the Chargers, which are statistically speaking #1 against the pass. Now, I don't buy that, but I also don't buy 9 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown every week out of Branch. A million people are going to put him in your lineup. I think it's a bad move. And my sleeper is going to be Marshawn Lynch against the Cardinals. 17 carries last week. I expect him to get over 20, run all over the Cardinals. I'm thinking 100 yards and even a touchdown.
All right, let's get into Mike's picks. We start with Ray Rice against terrible run defense of Buffalo. He should have a field day. His dud is Arizona's offense. Kind of going off of my stud. I like this. I think, like we were saying, it's a really hard place to play out there in Seattle. They're going to have a hard time moving the ball. And his sleeper's Jason Avant against Tennessee. Tennessee's been giving up a lot of yards in the past lately. And Deshaun Jackson out with the concussion. Avant's going to get a lot more targets this week.
So there you have it. Thanks so much for watching. Real quick on iTunes, if you search for us, you'll notice the Fantasy Smack Talk football podcast. And brand new is our Fantasy Smack Talk basketball podcast. So anyone's doing drafts, we have rankings, sleepers, a whole ton of things for you. Go ahead and subscribe to both of them.